Hello and Allahu Akbar, the Baha'i greeting to all the people in all the four corners of the planet. The beautiful mankind to understand their mission. Hopefully, God willing, I greet you all. Time, I guess, is 10:40 today, and it's 21st of March. Last time we spoke some of the laws and ordinances of Baha'u'llah, which defines the parameter of the Baha'i planet and the spiritual meaning, and the signs and the road and the identifications and all that, things that protect us, our body, our soul. And I said that I will be talking about, strictly speaking, about the act and actions and deeds that makes us spiritual, not just feeling good. We change, we become something else, we grow up, we develop. And I mentioned a lot of it is known to mankind, such as, giving, forgiving, bravery, even some say martyrdom, defending the truth, serving mankind. All that can bring those spiritual quality and power in us. But unique to the Baha'i faith and even the religions of the past, but in comparison, Baha'i faith is seriously not comparable even to the religions of the past as far as the broadness of its mission concerns. Religions of the past, they were dealing mostly with nations, continent. I'd call them continental religions. This is the first global faith of God that has been proposed by God for all the people on the planet. So Baha'u'llah has proposed and invented, ordered, ways by which, acting through that mechanism, we can grasp many spiritual qualities, not just one. And one of them, in a new way, in a new fashion that has been explained, is the unity. It seems the religions of the past, all of them, they came with a single mission. Let's say Adam taught mankind about good and bad, and Noah told them there is, spiritual power, God. Abraham told them there's one God. Moses brought them laws from God. Jesus brought love, and Muhammad brought knowledge, the center of their missions. And today all of them, like rivers, are coming down from the mountains down, bringing the humanity and to their followers all into the huge melting pot of our century, the whole planet, And we can see there are areas on the planet that this is getting exercised, where all the people are in the melting pot and they're becoming united. The first one in the world, that region, is Canada, the United States, Australia. These three in particular have many peoples of different races and religion in them. So let's get a bit into the philosophy of it. I am of the belief that according to the evolution theories or the history or the fossil records or whatever we have today, at least is clear that there were Neanderthals in Europe, and there were, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and so on in Africa, and recently they found small structure made in China. I believe they were all human beings, but they did not have enough in their gene pool to continue survival. because they lacked this power of either communicating with each other, or if they got to see each other, they did not get along to melt and mix. But so they all died out. They could not think their way out. And their way was to use the genes of other nations, of other races. But it seems some of them finally could achieve this. There was a mixture of all this, those humans, of those, there's African, or Europeans and Chinese, they mix, and some were in the river of Ganges in India. This is not a fossil record, there are historical dates, they always say it's Mesopotamia, but Abdul-Baha says it is happened around the river of Ganges. I believe at that time, long time ago, this man, and like any other man, this race survived because it was a mix of others. But as they grow and developed in the genes, genetic, I learned this when I was in the school, a process called avartism, that all of a sudden two black people, let's say, brown people, have all of a sudden a child with blue eyes. A feature just oozes right out. Among this newly formed nation, which was thriving very well, the new races came out. These genes of the past showed up through this process of avartism. So some of them, they looked like Chinese and gradually got separated and left back to China and whatever. Others, they were looking like the Aryan race, and they went up north and came back to Iran, and from Iran some of them went south, and the rest of them went to Europe. And one of them were more black, with the curly hairs and whatnot, and they were down south in India, become Dravidian as we have them in Tamil Nadu and others. A part of them went back to Africa again. In the course of time, they stayed separated because wherever they were in their continent, even God sent messengers among them to explain it to them, and they grew up till today, that by the plan of God, as it was said before, the Word of God was established everywhere. Now today is the time to get them united, to bring them back together. And it seems the unity right now, as Abdul-Baha says, the religion of God is based on the natural necessity, is a necessity, is evolution. As Karl Marx calls it, the force of history. It's a historical force. You have to do it. It's brought them together, and whoever understands this process, that at one point we were all one particular race with all the genes in it, and we got proliferated and separated, and now we're coming back again together. You see, this process was like beating, heart beating. Goes out and it comes back. If somebody understands this process and the necessity of the unity, not only he survives, he also prospers. For example, look at Canada. People of all the nations are here, all the creeds, all the kindreds. Is incomparable to see the class of a Canadian thought and mentality, power of the individuals, their tolerance, their social ability to the people of other places. They may not be as spiritual as such, but they surely have the basis very strongly laid out. So it seems that this is where we're going. And this is the force of the history force. This is one of the commandments of Abdul-Baha in his will and testament for all of us, for the Baha'is, and those who want to know the Baha'i faith. This is his order. His order is unity, and I want to read it for you. It's beautiful, fantastic. Not only explains this, but he tells us what are the obstacles in the way, or what sacrifices do we have to make to see this. Wherefore, quote, "Wherefore, O my loving friends, consort with all the peoples, kindreds, and religions of the world with the utmost truthfulness, uprightness, faithfulness, kindliness, goodwill, and friendliness, that all the world of being may be filled with the holy ecstasy of the grace of Baha, that ignorance, enmity, hate, rancor may vanish from the world, and the darkness of estrangement amidst the people of and the kindreds of the world may give way to the light of unity. Now he explains to us what's in the way. This is not a simple task, he says. What's in your way? He tells us. He reads this. He knows this is what's going to happen. And he tells us what to do. Should other peoples and the nations be unfaithful to you, show your fidelity unto them. Very hard. Quote again. Should they be unjust towards you, show justice towards them. Should they keep aloof from you, attract them to yourself. Should they show their enmity, be friendly towards them. Should they poison your lives, sweeten their souls. Should they inflict a wound upon you, be a salve to their sores, meaning a medicine to their pains. Such are the attributes of the sinceres, such are the attributes of the truthful. It is amazing, amazing task, unity. This is why, if you can understand it, what's at stake, and see the order of the master of the world, Abdul-Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah, what tells us we have to be united with all the people and what they might do to you and what you should do in return. Shobi Effendi, in the order of Baha'u'llah, he tells us the mechanism, the way we Baha'is and the Baha'i faith looks at the differences and how he wants this unity to be made. I'm going to have to read this to you, it's very important. Quote, let there be no misgiving as to the animating purpose of the worldwide law of Baha'u'llah. Far from aiming at the subversion of the existing foundations of society, it seeks to broaden its basis, to remold its institutions in a manner consonant with the need of an ever-changing world. It can conflict with no legitimate allegiances, nor can it undermine essential loyalties. Its purpose is neither to stifle the flame of the sane and intelligent patriotism in man's heart, nor to abolish the system of the national autonomy so essential if the evil of the excessive centralization are to be avoided. It does not ignore nor does it attempt to suppress the diversity of the ethnical origins.